One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take some chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
This is an NBC News special report. Here's Hoda Kotb.
Good morning. Good to see you. You are coming on the air right now with breaking news. A massive global technical outage tied to CrowdStrike, which is a major cybersecurity provider, has knocked critical computer infrastructure offline all across the country and, in fact, all around the world. It's an issue with a software update. It's impacting lots and lots of Microsoft computer systems worldwide, from businesses to emergency services, 911, traffic lights, transit systems, and it's having a major impact on airlines as well. American, Delta, United, they're all keeping their flights grounded. You're looking at some live scenes from the airport. It is chaos again, 6 a.m. on the East Coast, and this is the scene now. They're having difficulty even printing any kind of boarding passes. This, of course, is a developing situation. The full scope of this problem remains to be seen. And Brian, as we get started right here in Studio 1A, we should point out computers at NBC News right here as we're getting on the air. We're trying to do some workarounds here to get on the air, but this is something that's affecting people worldwide.
Yeah, and other newsrooms, our partners over at Sky News, having issues as well. I mean, this is impacting all different types of businesses. When you talk about airlines, you also talk about, just 911 services, in some cases reporting outages as well. And you're even hearing of anecdotes of banks in other countries experiencing that. We don't yet have reporting of banks in the United States being impacted by this, but this appears to be not just in the United States, worldwide and across different types of industries.
This definitely speaks to what I feel like is the fragility of the situation. It's like this is not a cyber attack. This is a computer kind of snafu that happened.
Yeah, and just to kind of walk you through exactly what's going on here. So this appears to be an issue between CrowdStrike and Microsoft. So CrowdStrike, for those that aren't familiar, is a cybersecurity firm that basically provides businesses with a way to foolproof their systems from being hacked. Now, apparently what happened was that CrowdStrike was working on some sort of update. We just heard from the CEO in the last few minutes describing this as not a security incident or cyber attacks. So I want to repeat that again. It doesn't appear to be a cyber attack at issue here. But the reason why CrowdStrike is so instrumental to not just businesses here in the United States, but around the world is because any sort of business that hires CrowdStrike.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? I can't figure out why this is playing this stupid music, but
See, that's what happens when you mess with somebody else's stuff.
playing that whole intro music. Oh, it was playing a double. Why would it do that? Anyways, hey, we're at the BD layer, man.
Right, you got it now? Everybody good?
We'll see.
Okay, let's try this again. What up, everybody? It's another 7 days. We're back again with another show. Archbishop Mike Ball. We got Aaron with us again today, and this is the Diamond Effect. We got a pretty good show lined up for you guys tonight, but we're gonna start with the particulars first. So Mike Ball, what's up with you, brother? How was your week, man?
Yeah, it's been a good week so far, man. It's been enjoyable. I came over here to the Dragon's Lair to hang out with BD, and yeah, we've had a great time, man. In Atlanta, hot Atlanta, and rainy Atlanta.
Right. Yeah. We got rain down here in Florida too. Yeah, I know you was over at Black Dragon's house. Hey, Dragon, stick your face in.
Yeah,
hey, what's up, everybody?
You're getting called in here now. He said, all right. Come on in.
Stick your head in. What's up, brother? What's up, brother?
Good to see you guys, man. I hope you have a good show.
Yeah, thank you to Dragon for letting me use.
Really blessed to have Mike Ball here come visit me during a time of great anxiety for me. You know who your friends are. People get in the car, drive 3 or 4 hours to come see you. So I'm very thankful, and I appreciate you too, Archbishop, and everybody. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up to Atlanta to see you here in the next couple of weeks.
That's right. That'd be really cool. I got to come back down then.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gonna come up. Yeah, Mike, me and you can.
We'll
on that. Come down. Yeah. Come down at the same time. So what's up, Aaron? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, my man. Looking forward to today's show.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's a hardcore topic.
Huh?
It's a hardcore topic. I mean, the whole world shut down because of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before we get into like I said, so we got Mike in Atlanta, we got Aaron in Ohio right now, and of course I'm down here in rainy Florida. But we're gonna make it do what it do. Like I said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I started a new movie.
That's right. The one that you've been working on that I knew about, right?
Well, we had the first one that was called Rotten Dirty. That's gonna be out here in a couple months. We started on a new one called Standing on Business. They just started filming about a week and a half ago. I had one part that I had put out and told everybody that I was supposed to be this detective or whatnot. So I started doing that, and then they ended up changing me. So I went from the detective to a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of iffy about that because I'm like, well, hold on, why you changing me? Did I mess it up that bad? Is that why you changing me?
Yeah,
And
yeah. It was
they
something
was
that
like,
you did wrong, right? Yeah. No, you
right,
did
right.
good probably, and they upped your shit.
Well, that's what happened. They was like, well, we the role that you had at first was a support role.
Right.
Now we're moving you up to a lead
Into
role.
an actual lead, yeah.
Yeah, so I got moved up to a lead role. So on this one, I'm playing this lieutenant.
Look at
So,
you becoming famous and shit, man. This is awesome, man. Love to see it.
Man, I'm trying to get where y'all at for real, man.
Yeah, right. You definitely surpassing us with these movies and shit, man. This is awesome. I'd love to hear it, man.
Man, I'm trying to get there, bro. I'm trying to get there. But yeah, let's hit this. So we're gonna talk about this whole CrowdStrike thing because it's a lot of little intricate parts in this, and we're gonna try to put it all together and get it out to everybody.
Right.
Okay? So with this CrowdStrike crash, it was a significant event doing this cybersecurity. The whole cybersecurity, people getting hacked and stuff like that thing. Even though this was not an actual hack, let's put that out first. It was not an actual hack.
Right. It's not a hack. It wasn't like someone tried to do this on purpose from like a different country or something like that to gain intelligence, right?
Right. This was something that was global. So on this day,
and an accident, from what I hear so far.
Allegedly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So on this day, viewers across various sectors of the world reported the inability to access key features, which is the real-time threat detection and response capabilities, which were critical to safeguarding against escalating cyber attacks, stuff like that. The analysts speculated that the outage stemmed from a combination of overwhelming demand due to a spike of cyber incidents and undetected vulnerabilities within the cloud infrastructure. The repercussions, of course, was profound, highlighting the delicate balance between technology advancement, resilience, impacting clients, throughout the globe. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, about, how they say it happened, throw in, some other stuff of what could have taken place, and then try to put all this together to try to get some kind of understanding out of this, because this wasn't just Microsoft dealing with your computers. This was a worldwide thing.
Right. And also something too is that, you gotta look at who, follow the money. I always say that, right? Follow the money. And is it just like that video said in the very beginning that you played, Archbishop? Is it a coincidence that BlackRock has got their hand in shit?
Right. And we're gonna tap into that too. Because BlackRock has been involved in several things here within the past couple of weeks.
No kidding.
We're gonna try to tap into a little bit of all that too while we're going through it. So I don't know whether a lot of people are even familiar with BlackRock, but BlackRock is also a member of the WEF, World Economic Forum. And they're responsible for a lot of e-commerce, banking, airlines, credit cards, 911 emergency services. BlackRock basically owns the world.
Well, they also bought up all the farmland. You know what I mean? They bought, they bought all the single family homes. They're the biggest investor solely in all of the world. They controlled like trillions of dollars.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, it's over 15 trillion.
Yeah.
That they control around the globe, which is more. They have more in that company alone than the GDP for the U.S. and China put together.
God, that's so crazy.
Just this one company, and they were talking about between now and 2030 that they were going to own at least 60% of the housing market.
Yeah.
Between now and 2030, but we're not going there yet.
Right.
We're gonna go back to here. So, so with this shutting down, this whole CrowdStrike thing is, as you know, if people didn't know, it's a cybersecurity provider, and they linked up with Microsoft, and they put these different updates in. So like when you get updates on your phone, updates on your home computer, laptop, stuff like that, a lot of that stuff comes from this company, CrowdStrike. That's where a lot of these updates come from. So security updates. Now you get your regular ones from, from Microsoft. You get an actual Microsoft update, but for your security purposes, it goes through. And now, but they have it to where, what is it? 50% of all the S&E companies around the world, 50% of them are going through CrowdStrike for their security purposes and all that. So basically what happened, what they're saying happened, is that there was a patch that went wrong, which in turn knocked out everything from, at the airlines, from you, a lot of the banking services. There were some minor banking service glitches here in the US, but a lot of them was overseas, where the banking system just completely shut down. London Stock Exchange, 911 services in the US and around the world was affected. A lot of these major credit card companies, they were affected. And some of them are still affected even as of today. So this patch that they said that they put into it, it's supposed to have been fixing some of this stuff, but a lot of these computers are just gonna have to be manually done, which takes a lot of time. You know what I mean? And you dealing with a lot of companies around the world. This is something major. So one of the things I was thinking about when this first happened was like, okay, so I know they said that it wasn't a cyber attack, but it was something dealing with Microsoft. When Microsoft went through their little thing a few months ago, where they had some hackers actually go in and go all the way down to the source code, and was able to basically hold Microsoft at ransom, and had Microsoft pay billions of dollars to be able to unlock it so they could get back in it.
Right.
Now, I think a couple shows that we was talking about, I said something to the effect that the people who done this, what could have stopped them from coming in and actually putting a code into the source code?
You did say that.
Or various codes into the source code that they can go into it whenever they wanted to do it. So was that something that could have taken place, or was this strictly CrowdStrike? Because it seemed like right now they're both pointing fingers at each other.
Totally.
So what do you think, Aaron?
Well, let me use an analogy of a 6-ring bullseye so people understand. I don't want to get too technical over people's heads. In a 6-ring bullseye, target with a bullseye in the center, each ring that you cross into requires a certain amount of certification, a certain amount of authority to access that. To get down to the bullseye, that's called your kernel drivers. Your kernel drivers control your operating systems, your device drivers, as well as your source code. So that's the bullseye. That should be exclusively Microsoft only. Now, CrowdStrike, they're basically an anti-malware company on steroids, basically. They write on a kernel mode to where they have access to the operating systems and device drivers of Microsoft, which when they write a code, they're supposed to be able to get that code certified by Microsoft first before it goes into the system. And what you have are test engineers. They have 2 big computers sitting on their table. They got one new computer that they can backdoor the Pentagon with. Then they got a second computer there that's a little bit older model that's not attached to too much on the internet, that they call that their debug machine. They will run that code and try to test for any abnormalities. And if they find anything, they debug it right there. They find the code that is responsible and they delete it. To me, this comes down to a quality control measure. Whatchamacallit, CrowdStrike, if you believe their cover story, they didn't do what they could to debug that before they sent it over to Microsoft. And then Microsoft should have had their test engineers or somebody take a look at it before they let it go through their system. So with them both pointing the finger at each other, I say they're both equally culpable here, because neither somebody didn't do their jobs on both ends for this to have even happened. And it was only 3 digits of code. If I'm not mistaken, it was code 291. Once they deleted that, it was great. Now, they said they sent out a fix. The fix only worked provided your system wasn't infected. If you were infected, now we're talking a totally different game here. But in order to get down to the kernel code, you're going to have to reboot that system. That's your operating systems, your device drivers, and your source code. And man, this is something that's going to be really bad here, to try to get down to everything and find all that's in there. But you also have something called a Falcon sensor, and I need to bring that up. A Falcon sensor is a program it's a driver. It runs in the background, and basically what it does, it's software that looks for abnormalities. That's what makes the CrowdStrike thing work, because it's looking for people trying to break in or people trying to put malware on. It's constantly searching for that. Now, while it's looking for those abnormalities, somebody had to put something in there to cause that to not do its job, because even there, that should have picked that up, but it didn't. So that's why we're where we're at.
Yeah, I find it.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to find it interesting. I find it interesting that, we have a cybersecurity company that is supposed to help secure us, right? And ironically, they're the very ones that screwed up and shut down the world. I just find it ironic. It wasn't something else. It was a cyber security system that did this to us, which is totally it's a 180 of what they actually sell. They did everything wrong in this aspect. I hold them liable, but I just like Aaron said, in order for this to have ultimately happened, both sides of the aisle messed up somewhere. You know what I mean? Both sides are, I guess, equal to blame on that, because they allowed it to happen. And then it affects the rest of the world. And then what? CrowdStrike wants to offer a $10 Uber gift card to everyone just to avoid their, having a class action lawsuit against them. You know what I mean? So I just find all of it just really ironic.
Right. So now, what about the people that were in the airports that was stranded there, and that the airlines wouldn't return their money, or the ones that they did, there was people on there that had spent $400, $500, $600 for a ticket, and that they was only giving them back $100. Right.
Big issue. And then like cargo issue, there was a whole bunch of issues, man, all around. Yeah. Scary.
Right. Now, I think over in Arizona, it said that it affected their voting machines. I hope they don't try to use that in November, though, because Arizona.
Yeah, don't be. Yeah, we don't need no extra excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, they said. Like I said, the 911 services were down across the country, and they're as long as also with the who was that? Chase Bank was down.
Big one
for at least a day. The ATMs were down and all of that.
Could you imagine the amount of money lost in just a single day for a major bank like that? I mean, even Steve is saying right here in the comments, I think a few airlines were still down yesterday as well. Like they're still dealing with this, like 4 or 5 days later, however long it's been now. Yeah, That's crazy. That's a lot of money lost.
Right. Um, here's a I got a little quick video I'm gonna show here. This video is you have the CEO of CrowdStrike. His name is George Kurtz, and he's basically giving you his little spiel as to what took place. Okay, so we're gonna
no PR play.
Yeah. So we're gonna play it and let him tell the way he's gonna tell it.
That's right.
We're gonna dissect it.
Mm-hmm. Break it down.
This was not a code update. This was actually an update of content. And what that means is there's a single file that drives some additional logic on how we look for bad actors. And this logic was pushed out and caused an issue only in the Microsoft environment, specific to this bug that we had. We identified this very quickly and rolled back this particular content file. Obviously, many organizations are impacted, and many of them are beginning to recover. Many systems can be rebooted, and we've fixed the issue, so the systems are coming up and running. Some systems may not fully recover, and we're working individually with each and every customer to make sure that we can get them up and running and operational. But to be clear, it was not a cyber attack. It wasn't anything related to that. It was a content bug or update that we sent out, that we identified, and we rolled back.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So they caught this immediately and rolled it back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that was the case, then why come it shut down basically the whole damn globe? If they caught it as quickly as they said they did and rolled it back.
Right. That's a good question. That's valid. I mean, look at what SNS is putting in the chat right now. He said the CSO, which is the Chief Secretary Officer for CrowdStrike, worked for the FBI for 24 years. I would love to know if that's a guaranteed fact, but that would make sense. A lot of this would make sense.
Right.
Could I add something here that I think is relevant? Yeah. Number one, CrowdStrike just gave America the Y2K experience that we supposed to got during Y2K. This is exactly what happened. Now, let me give you a little background on George Kurtz. He's the ex-CTO officer of McAfee, okay? So years ago. Right now, he's the current CEO officer of CrowdStrike. Now, this could be coincidental, but I think it's relevant. 15 years ago, McAfee's antivirus update that went out removed the Windows Service host file and then knocked out millions of computers running the XP Windows right off the internet. And that's when they first saw the first dreaded blue screen came from that, which basically took everything into an endless reboot loop. Now you go to the future, the CrowdStrike incident is almost identical to what happened 15 years ago with McAfee.
Wow.
Did they improve on it? Did some rogue employee or agent for another country come in here and put those three digits of code into that program because they infiltrated CrowdStrike, which is possible, and they just added three digits of code that took the whole system down? But what is also interesting is it didn't take down the Mac systems. China and Russia wasn't affected. Okay, just the Microsoft. So I think that's interesting. But knowing that this incident happened when Kurtz was the CTO of McAfee, 15 years later, he's CEO of CrowdStrike, and something similar happens again.
So what is it particularly about cybersecurity systems that this has now happened not only one time, but twice? That's what is mind-blowing to me, is that it's almost like they're the money launderer of being able to like do whatever they can to like infiltrate or what. This is where my mind goes, right? And it's like they're the ones that have access to the codes to like Microsoft or whatever. It's rough to see, you know, not just one time, but within a 15-year span, happened twice from two different, you know, malware protection companies. It's mind blowing.
It almost seems like they're improving the way to
Right.
bring the system down.
Totally.
Well, they did say back a while ago that the next pandemic was not going to be like COVID, where there was a virus involved. It was going to be cyber. Now, just with what happened the other day. Now, imagine if it was a little bit more than what actually happened. It was more than just this patch that went awry.
What if they collected data?
You basically could have put the whole world back in the Stone Age.
Totally.
That quick. You know what I mean? So one of the things that I was thinking about was, like during the pandemic and COVID, a lot of people said afterwards that was more of a test to see how people would react and what they would do if you put them into a situation where they had to stay home. They did not, they could only go within a certain span. Where they had curfews and stuff like that to see
big social experiment.
To see how they would adapt to it. When I heard about this, and then once I started looking into it and looking to who all was involved in this, and I was like, what, this could have been like a test just to see, like, okay, what would actually happen if we just did this little bit. Let's just try this little bit and see what happens. You know what I mean? Now, granted, that could be way far-fetched and conspiracy theory type shit that I just said right there, but that could actually take place with just that little bit of code. Like you said, it was just that little bit of code basically went around the globe and shut everything down. What if they opened up just a little bit more than
right.
what they, or what if somebody did actually had the ones that had initially jumped into the source code in Microsoft, and what if they had actually done something on that end to make this over here go bad? You know what I'm saying? So it could go both ways.
And I'd like to add to that. The World Economic Forum has made a prediction some years ago that on August 12, 2026, there's going to be a world cyber attack that's going to occur. Now, how would you know that? I mean, not only are you telling me the year it's going to occur, you're telling me the month and things. So, an exact date. How would you know that? And was this a test for the coming thing of August 12th, 2026?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this stuff here, like once you started going in, and the whole cyber thing, that was once you started looking at it and seeing what they did, like, okay, this was like this much. But then once you started going into the other side of it to see who actually owns this company,
yes,
and what all this company does,
that's where my red flags. Yeah,
that's where everything started making sense. It was like, oh, hold on now.
Follow the money.
Right. Now you just got hit just last week when the whole alleged assassination attempt thing happened with President Trump, because the guy, Thomas Cook, that they said did the shooting, was also in a BlackRock commercial.
Yes, he was.
Sitting in their biggest days. Soon as the commercial start, he's sitting there.
The BlackRock, man, it's so crazy to me. That's the very first thing I saw. As soon as I saw BlackRock was connected to this, automatically all red flags went up for me. I was like, yeah, there's something here to this. 100%.
Yeah, I seen that that little commercial that they did, and like I said, like as soon as this commercial starts, the guy starts talking. And as soon as he walks in the classroom, this kid turns around and it's this kid, the same kid that was responsible, or that they saying responsible for this stuff that happened with former President Trump. It's the same kid that's on this BlackRock commercial, which made zero sense. I don't know where anybody has ever seen that commercial or not to even know what we're talking about. But I'm gonna show it to you.
Nice, you got it.
Yep, I'm gonna show it to you. Hold on.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, you know, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community. They say, you know, that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
That was the kid right there where he ended.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see?
Of course, of course.
So
Absolutely.
it's like all this. It's like all this stuff. Once you start thinking about it, it's like a lot of connected dot type stuff. That's the stuff I've been saying for months now. That everything that we keep talking about here, somehow along the line, we find a dot somewhere.
It's connected somehow. This big circle.
Right, and it's stuff that ain't even dealing with. You know what I mean? Stuff like this, but it just keeps connecting with each other.
It's all different, but somehow it could be all the way on the other side of the spectrum, but somehow it circles around. It's connected. It's crazy.
And I like to add to that CrowdStrike's principal shareholder is BlackRock. And then CrowdStrike itself is a member of the World Economic Forum, the one that's predicting this world attack that's going to happen, the cyber attack that's going to happen. So I think it's interesting. It's like the tentacles of an octopus. They're far reaching, and you don't know what's all is owned and controlled by who anymore.
Well, you're right about that. All they need is, you know, a few successful tentacles, essentially, and the rest of them can fail, and the rest of society right there can die, and they don't care. They made money, you know.
Because if you look at CrowdStrike, they make the security system for Macintosh as well. None of the Macintosh computers went down. So I find that also
Linux is a very good platform for that, you know, and they fight off the bullshit like that. Somehow, some way, they just do. And SNS is that's a very interesting fact that you just said. And BlackRock just took down that video of that kid, you know what I mean, in that BlackRock commercial. Doesn't surprise me, but it also, to me, what that does is it just shows me that you're responsible. You know what I mean? It just shows you're guilty somehow.
Right.
If you had nothing to hide, that was his fault. Well, leave the video. You know what I mean? But yeah, they probably got under so much scrutiny that they had to get rid of it.
And if you look, I mean, the system's brilliant. CrowdStrike is one of the few people that will have total access to the kernel. Remember, the kernel's the bullseye. That's your drivers and your application systems and things. That's your source code. They would have access to everybody's, as far as Microsoft would be concerned. So if you wanted to get in somewhere, technically, they're supposed to have their stuff certified to put it through. Test engineers don't do their job to test what's coming from CrowdStrike. Man, they can slip anything in anywhere at any time.
Exactly. Now, with when you just brought up, Aaron, about BlackRock owning
Principal shareholder,
owning parts of all these different companies.
Right.
Now, it says that 88% of all the companies in the S&P 500, 88% of them, the majority shareholders fall within 3 companies. It's BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street.
And they own Vanguard, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know, BlackRock owns Vanguard.
Right.
So,
and then they own a part of that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They own it all. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, but yeah.
Right. So so they got their hands in everything. You know what I mean?
Two of the biggest investment firms of all of the world, and BlackRock owns both of them.
Right. So they got that, and they own Pfizer, they own Moderna, they have stakes in all the airlines, all the social media networks.
Yep.
So they basically got their hands in just about every single thing there is to be in around the world.
Yeah, it's not just data shit. they're buying like the number I heard was like something like 38% of all of farmland in America is being bought out by BlackRock. I heard that over something like 50 some odd percent is being bought out of the single family homes by BlackRock, and in turn, or them creating homes, right? But then renting them out for, how they do. It could be a $3,500 mortgage, but they're going to charge you $4,500, you know what I mean, a month, and make crazy bank on you forever.
Right. See, that's because a lot of these people, when they bought those houses, they bought adjustable rate.
Yes, and yep, 100%.
And so now the mortgages are increasing.
Right. You got to find those fixed rates, man.
Right.
Forget about those scalable, changeable. It's not retainable for 30 plus years. It's just not going to happen.
Right. You know what I did? Remember back a few years ago when the interest rates dropped tremendously.
Yep.
And I went through and I refinanced my house, and I got it for 2% fixed for 30 years.
2%.
2%. So even though, that's why I still kept my house in Ohio. You know what I mean? And they
I don't
call
blame
all the
you.
time, like, "Oh man, you want to sell your house? Want to sell your house?" No, absolutely not.
I'm fixed. Don't need to.
Right. It's fixed. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? No, I ain't about to fall for that trick. Like, hell no.
Yeah, it's probably BlackRock trying to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's what was the other one here?
Seems like they've just got a hand in everything, man. And then CrowdStrike, I didn't really know much about CrowdStrike, honestly, until this whole thing happened, and then going into, investigative mode as a content creator usually would. I'm privy to all the other companies, but never really got into CrowdStrike. And I find it weird that, I didn't look into them like that before all of this. And then it's not surprising to find out there's an ex-FBI, director or some bullshit that's been in there for the last 24 years. None of that is surprising. This is the interconnection crap that I'm talking about.
I never even heard who CrowdStrike was until here recently.
Same here.
I had no idea.
Same here, honestly.
And so, like I said, when this happened, and I was like, okay, CrowdStrike, who the hell is that?
Who the hell?
Yeah, I had to go look it up.
I know all the different malware, cybersecurity systems and all that. Never heard of CrowdStrike. That sounds like some Grand Theft Auto 6 shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, but then when you get into it, like they also do cybersecurity for the Pentagon.
Oh wow! So they do not only just personal shit, but I mean, it makes sense. But they are pretty much a top-down organization then.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Wow.
They're everywhere. And another thing about them was that when they get these contracts with these companies to do their cybersecurity or whatever, in their contracts, they set up to where they basically release all information to them. So everything dealing with your company, they know about.
Every bit of data, everything about you as a human being. Yep.
Right. They know everything about every single thing that they dealing with your company. So
that should scare everybody right there.
So if you're trying to look for information and you talking about now, we keep talking about people trying to get your information, the government trying to get your information, stuff like that. Well, they've been doing it.
They've had it.
They've had it. They used it up under. Okay, well, we're gonna provide this service for your company. Keep you from getting hacked and all of that. But in order for us to do that, you have to release all information. Give us access to all information in order to be able to do that.
I don't remember getting that email or signing that contract saying, send over my shit, because it's crazy how much they will send. Selling your data is such a huge business that it could be sold like 100,000 fucking times. And that shit is mind blowing, because you would think one or two people, maybe. No, it can be sold 1 million times, man. And it's crazy. And that this is, people go, well, how did people know my password? How did people get into my bank? Dude, it's very easy to do so if from the back end of this shit, absolutely. Data breaches happen. It seems like now daily. You know what I mean? Data breach from here, data breach here. Everyone's losing their information out for free at this point. You know? Yeah, crazy.
You know, I think one of the things when we was talking about dealing with BlackRock, when you start talking about that company, you got to talk about the man that's over BlackRock, and that's Larry Fink. Now, Larry Fink been involved in a lot of stuff throughout the years. Like, you know, he was also a part of when Zuckerberg started Facebook. He was a part of that.
Yeah.
But then when he had his own investment company and he lost like $100 million, and basically nobody would mess with him for a long time. Nobody would mess with him. And then he came back. When he came back, he started BlackRock, and you see where BlackRock is now. But he has a particular way of doing things when they're talking about this whole thing dealing with the World Bank issues and all that. See, because he's all a part of that. You know what I mean?
He's in the inner circle, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So when they have the Bilderberg meetings and stuff like that, he's a part of that. He's a part of that forum. And one of the documentaries that I had seen, they played a clip where he was talking, and he said that in order to change people's behavior to do what you want them to do, you have to force them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the strategies that he's putting out it's more forced behavior. Okay, so if you make them do this, then they have no choice but to do it. So like over in the UK, for instance, where they're talking about implementing the 15-minute cities and stuff like that. See, he's a part of all that. So that's one of the things that they're trying to implement over there, to basically as a test run to see how it goes.
Right.
In these 15-minute cities. And then I also seen a clip the other day where in Atlanta, they put these new cameras on all the street lights around the city, to where
It's becoming England now.
Where they can go through, and as you walking through, they can scan you and know exactly where you are at any given time. And even if your back is turned to them, they have system where in that program that it can tell by how you're walking who it is.
No shit. So this is above CCTV. This is above CCTV shit that's in London, England, all that shit, right? I mean, it sounds like some China level shit.
Right. Well, you see, they already doing it in China now anyway. You see, this already going on in China right now anyway, because that's where the whole social credit score and all that comes in at.
Yep. And I thought this was going to be a movie rather than it be an actual reality, which is crazy that we actually followed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and also another thing about BlackRock that is kind of mind blowing is if you actually look at their history, yeah, they've been around for a little bit, but they really got their pop off. And this is how you know you can't trust them automatically, is that they popped off right in the middle of COVID and took advantage of so many people during that exact time. This is why they became so mega, is because everyone was in the middle of COVID. They don't know what the fuck is going on. None of us really did. But all these companies were like, well, what am I going to do? Be shut down, or do I sell? And they all sold to BlackRock, you know, because BlackRock was like buying it all up. Hey, man, I'll buy it all. Everything you got, I got it, you know. And I gotta come with a little skepticism when you come that way, you know, and look at how it surpassed the world. I mean, the number one investment firm of all of the not just the United States, in the globe. Crazy, man. And now they run the fucking world within less than a 5-year span.
Right. Well, you know, they said on there too that with the whole identifying software and stuff like that, that about 95% of all the images that they have of each person around the globe, they got it from Facebook.
Yep.
From profiles. So even I remember back about probably about a year ago, me and Big Bone had did a show, and we were talking about this, where they were getting these pictures from Facebook from members of different clubs in particular areas, and they was getting them pictures together and they was putting them in a photo array. So if anything happened in that particular area, and you said, well, okay, I don't know who it is, but I know that they're with such and such club, they pulled out the photo array of everybody that was in those clubs in that area and be like, okay, pick him out. Who? Because they were pulling all these pictures off of Facebook, and they was putting them all into the photo array. Yeah, so they've been doing it for several years now. They've been doing it.
They're
it's
professional.
just now, right? It's just starting to come out as to exactly how in depth they were doing it and what different precursors and stuff they was putting in place now for everyone, not just sections of people and whatnot, because back in there's a journalist, her name is Veronica Webb. This woman knows a lot of information, but she was talking about up to 3 years ago that they had over 4 million US citizens that they had on that they had done full investigations on, that they had them listed as being domestic terrorists in the US, no matter what it didn't matter whether you had done something or not. So now they're putting this software together, well, it's already together now, to where they can load in, say, your information, Mike, and it's going to tell them based on your Facebook profiles, what you put down, your record and everything else. It gives you a percentage as to whether this person is going to be able to commit a crime, or is he going to say something against the government, or is he going to be someone that you're going to have a problem with later on? It gives you an accurate percentage. So
none of that's surprising, but I mean, at this point, I mean, you've got to almost accept it, because we put our shit online for a lot of it, and we kind of do it to ourselves, but we don't sign up for that. You know what I mean? And that's if the most public knew about that, they'd probably, bring back the reins, a little bit and go, hey, you know what? I may not put out my entire life on the internet anymore, because at this point you're being rated off of social media, dude. Like, a lot of people just post memes or whatever. Like, what if I post a picture of my pistol and I'm exercising my Second Amendment right? What now? All of a sudden, you deem me as someone that could murder somebody? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me how this shit works, but it's dangerous. And mix that with AI. Oh man.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought that up is because this same company, CrowdStrike, along with BlackRock, are the ones that's primarily responsible for all the stuff that I've just sat here and talked about.
Yeah,
they're all intermingled in that. So it's like one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. You know what I mean? And it's
scary times.
Right. Oh, I know something else I'm going to tell you. With the 911 services that was that had went down, throughout the country.
Right.
Did you know that they're actually trying to outsource 911 services?
No.
What? They're going to try to send it over to India?
Israel.
Oh my, dude, I can't. I got to take a break. This is crazy. I can't do it. This is crazy to me. It's typical, though.
They're trying to outsource the 911 services to Israel. And the what's that group that Carbide 911? Are you familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
That's it's actually a company that Jeffrey Epstein founded. But this is the company that they're trying to go up under for this 911 service, and then outsource the services.
That's so dirty.
To Israel and India. India was a part of it.
Wow. And I did that guess. That was a total guess off the top of the dome, but it doesn't surprise me. We outsource all that bullshit over the phone shit to like India.
Right. So you call 911 and you get somebody from Israel or India trying to that makes zero sense.
No, it makes zero sense. Absolutely, it does.
But that's what they're trying to do.
How does someone overseas have my best interest in mind when I call for an emergency?
Right.
Why would they care? That's crazy to me. It's not even an American citizen that lives in the United States is mega, man. That's crazy. You can't get people to do that job right there, or you really need to be that cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow.
So you had a 911 emergency, and you're going to talk to somebody across the globe for them to make a phone call to the fire department that's literally 5 minutes away.
You know what? I'll just get the fire department's direct number at that point. You know what I mean? I don't even need to go through them anymore. I'll call you direct. You know, all fire stations got their phone numbers listed. You can call them.
What you got, Aaron?
Oh, no. I was reading.
You raised your hand. I thought you.
Yeah. No, somebody's commenting here in my axes and box. So
you got a badass collection, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Papa says dispatcher pay is garbage and stressful. No one wants to do the job, and that is sad and very true. You know what I mean? It's sad to see, but you know, something like that, I would agree with. You know, definitely paying them what they're worth. You know, especially any type of emergency services. Yeah, man, it's crazy how cheap it is, and then we can just hire someone for pennies to do it on the phone from across the entire goddamn freaking earth. That's crazy to me.
Right. Okay. So what if they have an outage over there? What if there's an outage in Israel? I mean, they're literally at war right now.
Yeah.
So what if they have an outage in Israel, or what if there's an outage in
bombed.
Israel?
They get bombed, and now all of a sudden they got no telecommunication services or internet or nothing. Then what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What is this FedEx putting flock camera? True. That's true. And they're also cooperating with the police with those cameras.
Not surprising.
And vice versa. Like the police is communicating with FedEx and vice versa about these cameras that they're going to start putting in these delivery trucks. So now FedEx them became snitches. They riding around, you know, delivering packages and playing police too.
And Papa Penguin, he says, when he says 911 is going overseas, what does he mean? That means the dispatchers. Anybody that's calling that direct line and they answer you, usually it's someone, you know, within your state, someone that's, you know, within the city limits, you know, shit like that. And it can be within at least our nation. But they want to bring 911 dispatching services across the world, man, into Israel and India. Does that make sense to you? For United States citizens, do you think they really got our best interest at heart? I don't think so.
Right. I mean, like, why would you outsource something like that? 911 emergency services. Why would you outsource that to a country on the other side of the world? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And surely it doesn't have anything to do with money. Surely it that. I mean, now I'm not saying the money that you paying the people. I'm talking about the money that they trying to save on the back end. That's what I'm referring to.
And I knew exactly what you meant by that. Yep.
You know, like everybody try to be cheap. You know what I mean? So now we're gonna go from 911 services. Now we're gonna have a motherfucker who was an operator for Temu call my 911 services. I mean, to call the cops over here. You know, he go in between it and work from home. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do 911 services, and I'm a operator for Temu, and I do Time Magazine,
and I do credit card fraud. You know,
right. 9 to 3, I'm gonna save you 15% of more car insurance. Yeah, man, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Rebecca had a thing here. She said that I don't know what KW is supposed to be. It said it was supposed to be Ontario's first 15-minute city. That's up in Canada. Now you also know dealing with them 15-minute cities is that They don't want you to drive. They don't want you to drive gasoline vehicles.
Right.
You got to have, electric or whatever, or you have to, ride a bike or walk or whatever. But how those cities is set up is where, I think I explained it one time before, but I'll do it quick. So say for instance, you take Ontario. Now they're gonna go 15 miles north, east, south, and west of that city, and they're gonna make a circle, and then they're gonna divide that circle up into equal parts. And then if you fall within those grids, everywhere you function at, from your job, where you live, where you buy your food, kids go to school, everything is within that 15-minute radius. And they put these little meters up that basically scan the car. You know how like you do on the toll, you just drive by and it automatically scans.
Yep.
Okay, so it scans and it tells you where you're at. Now, if you want to go outside of that grid, say you got family that's somewhere else and you want to go visit, you have to put in paperwork, and they have to give you permission. And then they give you so many times that you can go outside that grid.
No way.
And if you go outside that grid more than that time, or you do not get the permit to go outside that grid, then you get fined. And the way it's supposed to be set up is that whatever fine that you get, it automatically comes out of your account.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was some stuff that they've been talking about. They've been talking about for a while.
I can't deal with it. That's crazy. How are you going to contain people and expect them to, for real, respect that boundary, which is not a reasonable boundary you can put on people?
I mean, but think about what they did to COVID. What did they do?
Yeah, that was a successful attempt on their part, 100%.
Yeah. Now answer this. How easy was it for them to get everybody to stay in the house? So they just said, okay, all essential workers, if you was a firefighter, cop, construction, nurse, truck driver, okay, y'all
Worked
keep
in
working.
commerce.
Everybody
Yeah.
else, we're going to give you $600 more on the week, but we need you to keep your ass at home. Don't go nowhere except for the grocery store, the hospital if you need to, and home. And your curfew is at 9:00.
Yep.
What did they do? They kept their ass in the house, didn't they?
They did.
They stayed in the house.
The
Nobody
American
fought
people
it.
failed on that aspect.
Nobody protested. Nobody fought it. Why?
You're
Because
right.
you gave them something else. You say, okay, you're going to draw this unemployment. I'm going to give you this extra money here, and I need you to sit in the house and be a good little boy. And that's exactly what your ass did. You know what I mean? I had to work every day, unfortunately.
I did too. I did too. And I didn't get paid extra, by the way. Didn't get paid nothing extra. I didn't get like no extra $200, $300, $400 to work. I didn't get none of that. I got nothing. And I didn't get no COVID check for free. I didn't get none of that crap.
Yeah, we ain't get none of that. Now we out here working, and it's literally a ghost town. Ain't nobody outside. But
I was like the only one on the road in California, and it's crazy to me because I was like, man, normally just to go down the road for 10 miles, that's like a 2-hour ordeal, and everyone was inside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they did all that, and what happened? Everybody conformed. They told you wear a mask. They want you to, if you go in the store, stay 15 feet away from everybody. Wear your mask. Go school. You can go here. You don't even got to worry about going to school. You can do it from home. That's what they're going to do. Now, with this 15-minute city, you don't got to worry about going to your job because every job in that area will then be remote jobs.
Right.
So you don't have to leave your house.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they've already done the test run with COVID to show that it can happen. And
people are naturally they're going to follow free money and find we are all about the easiest route, and if we can be at home making money, dude, most people are like, dude, you expect me to go back to work after this? No way. I was making all this money right here at my table, at my desk, in my house. How do you that was a really good thing for the government if they want to brainwash people and really do this experiment. Give them some money and make them lazy.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead, Aaron.
I do have something this time. To me, and we've talked about this on the show before, but I want to reiterate it at this point. Well, what we all witnessed that went down, this should be an eye opener for everyone out there. I mean, World Economic Forum's predicting a world cyber attack. We know our enemies are planning to bring down our grid. That day is coming, and it will be in our lifetime. You got to be able to go at least 90 days in your home, enough supplies that you don't have to go out and risk your life, because in the first 2 weeks, people are going to be hurting people over resources. If you can stay in your home where you're safe, you stand a better chance. This was an eye opener right here. And people, if you haven't started prepping, you need to get started. And if you are prepping, step up your game at this time, because we don't know, like I said before, when the day before is actually going to be the day before. On that night when that happened, I was having a little insomnia. I was up between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I started seeing reports that Europe was under attack. Even some of their stock markets wasn't even running. And then at 6 a.m., I started seeing that things started happening in the United States. Computers were shutting down here. When Arch got in touch with me about it, I sent him some information. I was up the entire night watching the whole thing unfold. And, you know, I've got water put back. I've got food. I've got meds. I got different things.
Yeah, no, you're not worried out of all people. You know what I mean? Like you're probably the most ready out of all of the Americans. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing.
I felt very confident, very happy to have what I've had.
Right.
Because any skills you pick up right now, any products that you get, you're investing in yourself. And those things may be needed in the near future.
You said it right there. Mm-hmm. Facts. Mega facts.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's crazy how all this stuff.
No kidding, Steve. Great comment there.
What was it?
That comment that you just highlighted right there. 911. Hello, sir. Can I interest you in an extended car warranty? Yeah, serious. Right. Damn. 100%. Right.
Don't they call you enough every day as it is?
Yep, those spam calls. I get like 50 of them a day, man. Sucks.
Every day. That's
the product. That's the product of selling my and everyone else's. Anyone that gets spam calls, that's your data being sold.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone number is a mega one, man. You know, mega. Email, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Just be very on the lookout for all of this, and refer back to what we have dealt with during COVID, during all of these things that we have dealt with. That seemed to be social experiments, and we just went along with it like it was nothing. Maybe COVID actually prepared us for this time, because a lot of people that I've talked to about this and COVID stuff, and they look back on it and go, "Yeah, I got brainwashed by that," and people admit it. Like I did that because they told me I had to. Now I don't think that way, you know. And I commend those people that actually admit, like, hey, I can see that there's more to the story than just what they're putting down. And this is evidently, it's obvious that they're trying to use us as just a test, like we're some rats that they're just testing all this shit on. And this time we're ready to, we're privy to your shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this going, you know, like I said, we keep talking about all this stuff because I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, you know what I mean? I'll be watching your show." He said, "I don't ever say nothing on it," but he said, "But I watch it." And he was like, you know, some of the stuff is like important, but then too, like some of it, don't you think it's like on the conspiracy theory type? I'm like, actually, it's not, because everything that we sit on here telling you is actual factual information.
We're not speculating. We're not
right.
speculating.
None of it made up. Like literally, I wouldn't even want to make this up for real.
Right. No, this would not be a funny joke. None of it. This is all straight facts, which is crazy about it. I mean, everything is a conspiracy theory until it's like proven true, right? And the best conspiracy theorists in the entire world is our own government. That's what they do. Everything is a conspiracy. Everything with them, especially. So I don't know, man. I'm ready to show the people here that, listen, man, a lot of what we've been taught and shown is all blatant lies. Brainwashed, manipulative media.
In a perfect world, yeah, you can say like, yeah, everything they said was an absolute no, none of that took place. But indeed it is. You know what I mean? Like I told him, I said, man, I hate to have to come on there every week and talk about this.
No kidding.
Let me ask you a question. How many people actually do? How many people actually go on here and telling what's actually going on with this stuff?
Unbiased like this?
Not very many.
No way.
Many.
We are a diamond in the rough, quite literally.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of maybe two other shows on YouTube that actually talk about stuff like this.
Real life shit. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about the conspiracy theory shit. I'm talking about actual shit that's going on. Factual information. I've only seen two. But
yeah, that tells you something about the diamond effect right there. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's, Mike, me and you talked about this a while ago when we was talking about how like it all started back when we was which one was it? I think it was about the food, remember?
Oh yeah.
Like when we hit that one and then we went to the next one and to the next one to the next one, and it seemed like there were all different subjects, but they all connected to each other.
Every time. Every time. By the end of it, we were going, wow, dude, like now this makes sense with this. This makes sense from 3 weeks ago. This shit makes sense from over. Yeah, it's crazy how it all did that.
Right. Now then this one here, not only did it connect the dot, but now it put a name to where all this stuff is branching off from.
Yep.
You got this. I'm not talking about CrowdStrike. I'm talking about BlackRock.
Yes.
You got that company there, and it's and all these other companies. These people are invested in every single company and involved in every single thing that we've talked about for the past 4 months.
Right.
They're involved in all of it.
Yeah, if it involves critical infrastructure, they got their hands in it.
100%. And it seems like they've got their hand in everything, whether it be good or bad. But it seems like everything that is bad, man, it's a running concurrent thing where they are they've got their hand in it all. And again, like I've said this on the channel forever, man, it's all about following the money, man. And that's something that I'm very privy to, is following the money and figuring that out and going, okay, what's their motive? What's the money's motive? Because it's buying something. And NJM asks, Mike Ball connecting the dots, can anyone call in for a call-in show? You guys can absolutely do a call-ins and stuff like that, but not on this show because we're really like at the very end of this show. But we opened it up last week. You know what I mean? That's something that we like to do. It's not something that we do all the time, but it's something that we're definitely going to start doing more and more, is having you guys call in.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we're going to actually start doing, because we want to hear your side of it. And if you know something that we may have forgot or want to share some light on to something or whatever, feel free. We're going to open up the lines. Now, if Mike was actually at home, we would have the phone lines on.
We would have done it. Here's the thing, everybody. If you guys don't know, I'm here at Black Dragons from Black Dragon Biker TV. I'm here at his Dragon's Lair right now, here at his property, and doing the show. I did my show this morning this way, and then I'm going to do it tomorrow morning that way, and then I'm headed home. But if I was home and I had all my equipment, like I can't even control the comments here right now. You know what I mean? Usually I'm the guy that's highlighting all the comments. Archbishop has had to do everything that you've seen on the screen move. He's done today. So, you know, all the videos taking us down and all that. So I gotta commend Archbishop for that. Good job, man.
Oh, appreciate it. Getting into
As
practice.
always.
But you remember them couple weeks when you was moving
Oh yeah.
and you went on the show. See, that gave me. I had to actually.
It forced you to go. Okay, well, I mean, what does this do?
Now
Yeah.
I gotta figure all this out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like okay, like that was the part I didn't have to worry about. Like now I'm like shit. Now I gotta.
Yeah.
Now I gotta do this. You know what I mean?
14 days off of YouTube, man, is like a millennial. You know what I mean? That shit is for forever. It seems like, you know, you take 2 weeks off, it all goes to shit, man. NJM says Mike Ball 14 years ago, Canada constructed project I know was working on a project for CSI or CISIS to listen into all Canadian phone calls. And see, this is very similar to what we've got going on that just happened, the Patriot Act. Right? It was the we got the Patriot Act, and then what was behind that? But nonetheless, we are being constantly observed, not only through our phones anymore, or computers, or stuff like that. I mean, it could be literally anything at this point. Any camera, anything that can cause a red flag. You know, they have the right to use your own Ring camera or your own cameras inside, or your Alexa or whatever. You know what I mean? We've given them full reign. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fell up under the Restrict
TikTok.
Act, 79.
Yeah, the Restrict Act. That's what I was looking for. The Restrict Act, and then way back before the Patriot Act. But yes, that was what I was looking for, is the Patriot Act or the Restrict Act, when we allotted the government to essentially do that to us under all over the face of a TikTok bill, because there was so much hatred for that shit. And it got passed because of the hatred of TikTok, and it was the face of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Well, you know, I think they used that to be able to
Of course.
Okay, I do this anyway, so let's just throw this in.
Of course.
So everybody focused on this. We're gonna slide this in.
Yep.
You know,
And we try to warn everybody about that. You know what I mean? We warned everybody about before it went through. And it's like, listen, man, there's more to this than just the TikTok shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving up all your rights.
It was weeks before. Told them to call the senators and complain about it and everything.
Yep.
You
Straight
put that
up.
out like 3-4 weeks before it even.
Yep. Like, hey, call your people, call your representatives. Yep. I remember that. Crazy, man.
You know, like a lot of them, just like somebody messaged on there before, you know, you're gonna have two different type of people. You're gonna have the ones that's gonna listen to what's going on, do your own research on it, see it for yourself, and then be proactive and take care of what you need to take care of.
Right.
And then you're gonna have some that's gonna sit back and be like, that shit ain't gonna never happen. And then it does, and then you one of the ones that's out here scavenging.
Right.
Trying to make sure that your family and your kids got what they need and stuff like that. When if you'd have listened,
no kidding,
months prior, you could have already had this stuff already taken care of.
No kidding.
So like I said, all the stuff that we're talking about on here, I mean, I say it all the time. Don't just take our word for it. Go look it up. It's there.
I never want people to take my word for face value, or anybody on this panel ever. I want you guys to get the information here, maybe hear it first, and maybe get a little bit more information and go, you know what? That's interesting. Or, hey, this is crazy. I got to check this out for myself. Everything that we're talking about here is something that you can actually look up. We're not just making conspiracy theories up as we go. Look this, all this shit that we talk about. Look it up. I advise everybody to do it.
Right. So we've been, let's see, we've been on here, what, 118?
Yeah, it's time.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and close it out. And before everybody log off tonight, go on there and hit that like button. Hit the like button.
That's right.
That's what helps us get this show out. Okay. So even with the ones that's, you know, because we got it streaming through a couple different places. We got it, you know, got it streaming on Mike's, got it streaming on mine. And okay, so go on both and hit the like button.
And subscribe to both.
We can get it out and subscribe to both. Yeah, and get it out there. You know what I mean? Because that's what gets it into the right algorithm, to that way it keeps going to where more people can see what's going on. Like I said, it's that right there take you 1.5 seconds to do. Just hit the button.
Easily.
You know what I mean? And some of you ones that watch
And it's
all
free.
the time, hit it as soon as you come on. Hit the button.
Right.
Because you already know it's gonna be good anyways. Just go and just
You damn straight. Damn straight. We don't disappoint.
Right. But like I said, once again, I appreciate you all for coming out, showing your love, showing support. I mean that with the bottom of my heart, man, because if it wasn't for you guys are the ones that keeps me up under this computer, pulling up this information, and got
No
Mike
kidding.
pulling up information, and got Aaron jotting notes and picking up information, because he's, I think we're gonna have to make Aaron comes in all the time, because he just loves to come on here and share information.
Man, he's one great source of information, especially for the topics that we talk about on the Diamond Effect. I really commend that man. He shows a lot of love, care for people. You know what I mean? And I have a huge respect for that. Anybody that's in it for like the love of that, absolutely. And someone that is willing to share and not gatekeep, I'm all into that, 100%. So, Aaron, thank you for being on here, man.
Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm gonna close out on it. Aaron, I'm gonna let you say yours. Mike, I'm gonna let you finish it out on the end, and then we're gonna take it out. So go ahead, Aaron.
Okay. Basically, I want to start off by saying an African proverb. That proverb basically goes this way: tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. What recently went down should be an eye opener. There's wicked people out there that want to put us civilians in a hurt locker in the near future. And even though we can't stop it, we can't regulate evil, but we can prepare for it. And that's the reason why I constantly stress people need to be prepared and ready. I mean, be the three pigs that build your house of brick. So when it goes down, it's just another day. You won't be immediately affected. You won't be hurt. You'll be able to help your family members. Maybe some of the elderly in the neighborhood or some of your close friends could come to you for information or whatever. Build your community, build people that you can barter and trade with, exchange skills with, share knowledge with. But like I said, we can't regulate evil, but we definitely can prepare for it. I'll stop there.
That was well said, Aaron. Shit, man, I could give you that shit.
Boy. All right, Mike, it's on you. Take it away.
All right. Much love and honor and respect to everybody. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us this evening. It's always a pleasure and our honor to do these shows for you guys. It's always an amazing time. We do it for you guys fully at the end of the day, man, and you guys make the show, man. I want to thank you guys, and make sure you guys are following the Facebook, the group, the Diamond Effect on Facebook, man. Go follow that page, man. There's a lot of members in there. We all talk, and it's a great time in there, man. So make sure you guys do that. Also, make sure you hit the like button. It is, like Archbishop said, it is the #1 metric of all of YouTube, man. So make sure that's what pushes us out into the algorithm, saying that we did something right. You know what I mean? And also hit the subscribe button on both sides. You know what I mean? And, these shows right here is exactly what I love to do, is be able to speak the truth and be able to do our part in letting the public know as much as we can with the facts on the ground, what we've got, to be able to give you guys as accurate details as possible, and also something that you guys can start to go, okay, well, this is maybe what I need to prepare for. You know what I mean? So this is what I love to do on this channel, man. So thank you guys for having me, as always.
All righty. Well, as for me, Mike Ball and Aaron, we'll see you guys in 7 days.
That's right.
All right.
Free. One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them